Happy New Year, everyone. We are in 2023. Oh my God, that's insane. We're going to do my top 10 most anticipated movies of 2023. So anyway, let's go. What's up, guys? Welcome to end of year sweeps. That's what I call this when I'm just freaking vomiting top 10s. That's where we're at this point. I've done the best and the worst of 2022. I think I did like top 10 Christmas horror, and there was one other in there. I got one more. We're gonna do top 10 kills of 2022. So that's gonna come after this. But I wanted to get out my top 10 most anticipated because one of these movies I'm actually seeing in mere days. Okay, like Wednesday. This should come out today. So, So we're going to get the ball rolling on the most anticipated. All right. So, let's get started. Now, some of these movies are really hush-hush right now, so I won't be able to give you too much information about the actual plot. I can tell you why I'm looking forward to it. There's a couple that I don't want. I guess they don't want honorable mentions. Saw 10. Some of you guys love Saw. I'm just not the biggest Saw fan. I saw Spiral. Did not like it at all. So, will I watch Saw 10? I don't know. Maybe if everybody's like buzzing about it, maybe I'll check it out. I don't know. Also, Nun 2. I have no desire to see that because the first one was a complete crap fest. I just hated the first Nun movie, okay? When I did a review, I talked about all the things I hated about that movie. But in the new one, it does have the returning Valak, and it does have Taissa Farmiga coming back. Maybe I'll watch it. I don't know. We'll see. I mean, I do need to rip some hot relish new a-holes at least a couple times throughout the year, right? So anyway, let's jump into these. First of two honorable mentions, I'm going to go Renfield. This is one that I literally just heard about. Nicholas Hoult is in it, and Nicolas Cage. Has something to do with Dracula. Now, some of you guys might be able to help me down in the comments. I don't remember if Nicolas Cage is actually playing Dracula. Maybe he is. I don't know. I think Nicholas Hoult is his assistant. So looking at the plot synopsis, Dracula's henchman Renfield wonders what it would be like life without serving the Dark Master. So it looks like it's going to be like a dark comedy. Could be funny. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Next honorable mention before we jump into the top 10 is the Insidious Fear of the Dark. I'm just a casual fan of these Insidious movies. The one thing about this movie is that it is a direct sequel to Insidious 2, so I think it kind of ignores the other Insidious movies. Patrick Wilson is returning. The child that was in those first couple movies, he returns 10 years later into this movie. So I do like that about it. It's kind of getting its bearings and jumping back to what worked in those first two movies. So could be interesting. Okay, jumping into the top 10. Number 10 is Cocaine Bear. Really, I could just say two words as to why I'm looking forward to this movie, and it would be cocaine and bear. I saw the trailer. It looks really hilarious. It looks like there's some nice star power in there, good production. And you know what? Everybody needs a good laugh. This movie looks like it's going to be hilarious. And it's based on a true story, which kind of adds some weight to it. But why do I do that all the time? But this movie looks like it's going to be really fun, okay? And I think everybody's already in just based on the trailer. I've already seen quite a few conversations going on about this movie, just based on the idea. Number 9 is Knock at the Cabin. It's an M. Night Shyamalan movie. M. Night has really come back, I think, starting with The Visit, which was kind of a mild comeback, but then he really came back with Split, being a direct sequel to Unbreakable, which was a nice big surprise. But at the end of the day, I think he got back to what works for him, is telling these really dark stories, but also giving a great twist. I don't know if a lot of my younger viewers know this, but M. Night was the twist guy back in the day. Every time he put out a movie, you just wanted this big twist, and it's still that way to some extent. But back in the day, I mean, he put butts in the seats just because people wanted to see the twist. All right, so Cabin in the Woods type movie too, which is always irresistible. I tend to love those movies for some reason, isolated location. And I'm sure with M. Night writing and directing, the story is definitely going to have some nice twists and turns. Number 8 is Infinity Pool. Mia Goth. Boy, is she freaking killing it over these last... I mean, she's got 2 movies at least coming out in 2023, and both of them are on this list. But this looks really interesting just because Brandon Cronenberg, who directed Possessor, David Cronenberg's son, is directing this movie. So you can be sure that it's going to definitely turn some heads, all right? I haven't even read the plot of this movie. I don't really even want to know the plot. Just knowing that Mia Goth is in this, Brandon Cronenberg directing, I'm in. Funny story about Brandon Cronenberg. When I went and seen Possessor, I had to drive like an hour away to find the one theater that was showing it. And when I got there, I've never had anything like this happen to me going to a movie. The manager literally like ran up to me and he said, what are you seeing? And I said, oh, we're going to see Possessor. I had my wife with me. And he's like, I need to warn you, I don't think you should watch this movie. It's extremely violent, and I think it crosses the line, and I just wanted to give you that fair warning. I don't think you should watch this movie. And he just really went out of his way to try to get me to not watch the movie, which is a weird thing. I've never had that happen. And my response to him was, do you know who I am? No, I didn't say that. I said, I think I'll be just fine. So that's my Brandon Cronenberg story. By the way, I've seen much, much worse in terms of gore compared to Possessor. Number 7 is Snow Falls. This is another movie that I literally just heard about, and I want to see it just based on the idea of it alone. It's an isolated environment movie. It's one of those snow, like the cold types of films. People stuck in this cabin, there's no power, and really the real enemy is nature. And how do you get out of a situation like this? And another reason I put this on there too is like, there's always one movie that comes out of nowhere and surprises us. And it would be cool if this is the movie that does that, There's no big star power here. There's no like known, I guess, highly known director. But it does look interesting. It does look interesting. Number 6, Megan, James Wan's new movie. I'm literally going to see this movie in a few days. The one thing that has me interested in this movie, 2 things really. James Wan, of course, that's number 1 first and foremost. He has a knack for these creepy doll movies. But also, just the trailer. The character Megan looks really weird and freaky. Those eyes freak me out. One negative that I could say about the movie, and I haven't seen it yet, of course, is that it's PG-13. I hope I'm wrong. I hope that this movie is still highly effective. But more times than not, when I go to a PG-13 horror movie, I'm like, man, I wish in that scene they could have went farther. But they couldn't because of the rating. So we shall see. Number 5 is Cuckoo. There is very little known about this movie at this point, which is a cool sign, Dan Stevens is in it from The Guest. I'm a big fan of Dan Stevens. But, I'm looking at this picture on Bloody Disgusting, and it does look really ominous and creepy. And they say that it definitely has like slasher type vibes just based on what they do know about the movie. It might not be that, I don't know. But just the fact that they're being so secretive about this movie makes me want to see it even more. And also the studio that's doing this is Neon, and I tend to like a lot of the movies that studio puts out. They're kind of like A24. Although A24 has really been nailing down the market recently, but I think Neon's going to come back with some cool stuff. This could be it. Number 4, The Exorcist. David Gordon Green jumping right off of a Halloween trilogy that wasn't controversial at all, and jumping into another property that won't be controversial at all with him directing. Oh my God, I can just imagine. I'm speechless. The aftermath of the Halloween trilogy, I'm almost glad it's over. I'm really glad it's over, I think. I'm absolutely glad it's over. Because some of you guys are passionate, okay? And some of you guys, you go a little bit too far with your opinions, but you know what? Maybe I do too. I don't know. Some of us broke up. Let's put it that way, okay? Some of us, we were friends. Some of you unsubscribed my channel because I liked that movie, Halloween Ends. I literally had people say that. I'm unsubbing your channel because, like, guys, are you one of those people? You, right there, I'm talking to you right now. Are you one of those people that would literally unsub a channel because they like a movie that you think is just atrocious? Are you really that person? I don't get you if you're that person. That's a very strange thing to me, okay? It's a very strange thing. But they're movies at the end of the day, guys. They're just movies, Jesus. But, oh yeah, The Exorcist. Ever since The Exorcist 3, there has never been anything that great or convincing in terms of this franchise. You know, Dominion and The Beginning were like two stories being told at the same time, which that was weird. With the same actor, oh my God, it's very strange. I'm curious, very curious, because this is not a remake. This is an actual sequel to the very first movie. So they're doing the requel thing here. Definitely curious. I do think David Gordon Green is a really good director. I do. So I'm curious to see what's going to happen in this movie. Will Linda Blair be in this? That'd be cool. I met her. She was such a sweetheart. And she did sign my Exorcist 2 VHS, which was really nice. Okay. Number 3, Maxine. As you know, X was my #1 favorite horror movie of the year. Pearl, not too far behind. I love this world that Ty West is creating. Maxine, again, very little that we know about the movie. I think it's set in the 80s. And they could keep going with these movies, you know? They could keep going farther away from X and farther away from Pearl. I mean, the sky's the limit with how far they could go with this world. I just love the character of Maxine as much as I love the character of Pearl. And it's so cool that Mia Goth plays both characters. I'm curious to see what Maxine's future adventures are going to be. Because Maxine was such a relatable character in X. You know, this character that wanted to become somebody. At the end of the day, that's what X is about. This character that just wants to become somebody, and she ends up being stuck in this horrible situation. And she rises above, and she escapes. So looking forward to seeing, like, really, like, what the villain's gonna be too for Maxine, because, you know, we all know, spoiler alert, Pearl is dead. So I don't know. I'm very, very curious. Number 2, Scream 6. And guys, you all know that Scream 5 did not blow my socks off. I thought it was only okay, but I do love the franchise, and I'm hoping for better. Okay, and I've given Scream 5 probably at least 5 watches now. And it sinks lower and lower almost every time I watch it. It just didn't dazzle me. So I really want this franchise, for me, to get back on its feet and be awesome again. And a lot of you guys loved Scream 5, and I'm glad you did, but I want this movie to really deliver. I love that it's set in New York. I think that teaser was perfect. And also, we're supposed to get a brand new trailer here, I think, within the next couple weeks. So really curious about that. But I got a feeling this one's gonna be at least a lot better than 5, okay? And it could be great. It could be really great. And also, you know how I did the beginning to ends documentary? Well, there's gonna be a Scream documentary. And let me tell you, that documentary, it took something out of me. Wow, that is the most editing I've ever done in my life. It was insane, but I'm proud of the result. I'm gonna put the same effort into the Scream documentary. Now, luckily, there are only 6 Scream movies. And I don't think I'm gonna be covering the TV series that much in the documentary. I'll probably touch on it, but. And number 1, Evil Dead Rise. I put this on here as number 1 because it's Evil Dead. I loved the Evil Dead remake back in 2013. And I'm just really curious about where they could go with this movie. I love Evil Dead. When Evil Dead's done right, it's amazing. And I'm hoping this one really, you know, kicks the doors now. And maybe makes a path for future Evil Dead movies. We shall see. Looking at the plot synopsis, a twisted tale of 2 estranged sisters whose reunion is cut short by the rise of flesh-possessing demons, thrusting them into a primal battle for survival. Count me in. So that's it, guys. Top 10 most anticipated movies of 2023. 2022 was a really, really good year for horror. Can 2023 match it? We shall see. Also, be sure to come over to Killer Flicks, where we talk horror all day and every day on Fridays. We do Free From Fridays. Follow me at Drumdums on my socials. Support me on Patreon. Buy me a coffee. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. Have a good day. Drumdum out. I'm curious to see what Maxine's future adventures are going to be, because okay.